guys, welcome to my channel. I am Sketchify. I'm a digital artist and I make tutorials related to character art as well as the anime style. Now it's been some time since I've made a video about drawing head, but let's make it a bit interesting. So I'll show you how to draw head from low as well as high angle. You must have seen this a lot in anime as well as manga. From a character who is strong and dominating to a character who is weak and vulnerable. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. When drawing your subject at low or high angle, the first thing that comes into play is a sense of space and depth. Since we're drawing the head from a different angle, there will be some changes in the perspective, which will cause the head to look a little different than the normal. So guys, here I have this head drawing at the center. This is what the head looks like from the eye level, looking straight at it. You must be familiar with this method I've used here if you have watched my other videos about drawing head. If not, I'll suggest you guys check out those videos before you move forward. Now, besides this head, there are these two circles. I'll be using these circles to show you how you can draw this same head when looking at it from different angles. The left one is for the lower camera angle, while the right one is for the higher camera angle. So we'll start with the head on the left. First, the center line of the face. Since we're looking at the head from a lower angle, the eyebrows line will shift at a higher level. Also, it will appear curved. That's because the front of the face is not flat but curved, which becomes apparent at this viewing angle. The nose line and the chin line. Now we'll find the side plane of the head. As you guys must be aware that the sides of the head are a little on the flatter side. So I'll be using these ellipses to mark them and erase the side a bit to make them flat. This eyebrows line will extend through the side plane, which we'll use to position the ears later on. Now we'll draw the jaw. Since we're looking at the head from a lower angle, the jaw will appear a little higher than the usual. Also, the jawline starts to appear a little less sharp as we go lower. Depending on how lower you view the head from, you can even see below the jaw, where it's connected to the neck. Let me erase this part of the circle so that you can clearly see the jaw. After this, the neck. For the ears, we'll use the eyebrows line as well as the nose line as guides. Unlike the other facial features, the ears will appear a little lower than the normal. Just to make it clear, here is the nose line, the chin line over here, and the eyebrows line. The hairline is not visible as it's away from the view. Now let's move to the head on the right. This is the one when viewed from a higher angle. Start with the center line of the face. Now the eyebrows line. In this case, the eyebrows line will shift at a lower level. Also, it will appear curved downwards. Since we are looking at the head from a higher angle, the hairline is visible to us. So, I'll mark this hairline somewhere here. The nose line will be here and the chin line here. Now we'll find the side planes of the head. Moving on to the jaw. Here the jawline will appear clear and sharp in comparison to the other head. Now the ears. The ears in this case will appear a little higher than the normal view. The other one as well. Now the neck. I'll make the nose line a little higher. So guys, here you can see what the head looks like from low as well as the high camera angle. You can even compare these two heads with the normal one at the center and see the distortions that take place. Earlier, I talked about the perspective. Since we're looking at the head from a different perspective or eye level, the head will appear moving through space, which is also known as foreshortening. Let me show you an example. Here you can see these 3 cylinders representing the 3 heads. At the center, you're looking at the cylinder from the eye level. Everything seems normal. Now, when you look at the cylinder on the left, you can see the base of the cylinder but not the top. Interestingly, this creates an illusion of the top of the cylinder moving away from us while the base of the cylinder moving towards us. Looking at the third cylinder on the right, you can see the top of the cylinder but not the base. Here, it appears as if the top of the cylinder is moving towards us while the base away from us. And this is what the foreshortening is about. It makes things appear as if moving in space, creating an illusion of three-dimensional world. You might also notice that it affects the distance between the hairline, eyebrows line, nose line and the chin line. In the normal view, the distance between all of them is about equal. But as the head starts moving in space, the things closer to us get bigger, while the things away from us get smaller. On the head from the lower angle, the distance between the nose and the chin will appear bigger, while the forehead will appear smaller. And on the head from high angle, opposite will happen. That is, the forehead will appear bigger, while the area between nose and the chin will appear smaller. So guys, this is how the basic construction of the head at low and high camera angles can be done. Moving on, let's pay attention to the facial features. As we have laid the foundations for the head in different camera angles, now we can focus on putting the details on the face. Let's look at the basic structures of the eyes, nose, as well as the mouth, and see how they are affected at different camera angles. Here, I have drawn these 3 pairs of eyeballs corresponding to the 3 heads on the right. You can see the orientation of the eyeballs in each of the pair. The dotted lines represent the curvature of the eyeballs, and their point of intersection is where the iris and the pupil are located. So this is what the eyeballs look like inside the skull. Now if you guys are wondering, this is not what I want my characters to look like, their eyes popping out of their skull. Do not worry, we're not done yet. This is just to explain the structure of the eyes and how they appear in different camera angles. Now this is what the eyes will look like on the face. In the normal view at the center, you can see how the eyelids cover the eyes. The upper eyelid has a high curve closer to the nose, while the lower eyelid has a low curve away from the nose. You'll have to show the eyelids in a similar way in the low and high camera angles as well, but also keeping in mind the curvature of the eyeballs. And this is what it will look like. Now let's put the eyes on all the 3 heads on the right. I'll start with the eyelids. I already told you that when drawing the eyelids, you have to keep in mind the curvature of the eyeballs. But another thing that you need to be aware of is the curvature of the front plane of the face. During the basic construction of the head, I showed you how the eyebrows line will appear curved at high and low angles, representing the front plane of the face. Similarly, the eyes will also follow the curvature of the front plane, positioned a bit outwards. Now the eyebrows following that curvature as well. So the normal angle. This one is quite straightforward, as you can see. In the high angle, again pay attention to the curvature of the face. This time you're looking from above, so the curvature will appear downwards. So guys, this is how you can draw eyes in each of the camera angle. Now let's talk about the nose. So the basic shape of the nose resembles something to a prism. This line here is the base of the nose where the nostrils are attached to the face, and this line above represents the tip of the nose. When looking at from a low angle, the tip of the nose will be higher while the base of the nose will be lower. And when looking at from a high angle, the tip of the nose will appear lower while the base will be higher, but won't be visible. So guys, this is what the nose looks like in each of the angles. In the low angle, the major part you can see is the nostrils and the tip of the nose. You can see a portion between the eyes. In the normal view, the nose appears just like it is, resembling that prism shape underneath. In the high angle, you won't be able to see the base of the nose where the nostrils are. All you can see is the top of the nose, the tip, and sides of the nostrils. So now, let's draw nose on each of the heads. On the left, I have shown what the realistic nose looks like. But with these heads, let's try a little stylistic approach. Maybe like anime and manga style. To be honest, you can put a dot where the nose is and your work is done. But let's try something a bit realistic. In the low camera angle, the nose is usually shown as that line between the eyes to show the edge of the nose and the two nostrils visible from below. Sometimes they also mark the tip of the nose, especially when the character has a really prominent nose. In the normal view, just the two nostrils are enough. In the high camera angle, we'll start with the tip of the nose, the sides of the nostrils, and the edge line. This line that you see here represents the base of the nose. So the tip of the nose will exceed this line and appear a little lower. So we're done with the nose as well. Let's move on to the mouth. When learning to draw the mouth, the first thing that you need to understand is the tooth area or the denture. If you'll notice, this area further pushes from the face, creating this curve over the face. This is even more noticeable in the profile view. And now, if you see here, the mouth is like a slit that opens and closes, revealing the teeth and inside the mouth. The lips also push outwards because of the curve of the tooth area. When you look at the mouth from a lower angle, the curve is visible clearly. The slit of the mouth appears curved upwards. And when you look at the mouth from a higher angle, again the curve of the mouth is visible, this time curved downwards. However, when the mouth is open, the flesh of the lips also moves with it. And this is what it will look like. You can notice how both the upper and the lower lips correspond to the curve of the mouth. These lines that I have drawn over the lips show the main fleshy parts of the lips and what they actually look like from different angles. Now let's draw the mouth on these heads on the right as well. In the low angle, the curve of the upper lip will be slightly sharper than the lower one. Another thing that I've noticed is that the lower lip is a bit thicker than the upper one. It's more noticeable in females. You can even exaggerate this in your drawing to make your characters more feminine. And finally this one. Here the curve of the lower lip will be slightly sharper than the upper one. The nose looks a bit lower than it should be. Let me correct it. So we are done with the lips as well. And we have all the three heads complete with the base structure and the facial features. Take your time to absorb all the stuff that I've showed you here and make sure to challenge yourself slowly. Now before we finish, I thought an example of my artwork process using these camera angles will be really insightful. It's not just about telling you the techniques and the ideas, but also showing you how I use them in my artworks. So we'll start with a circle and divide the face with a center line. The eyebrows line. This is just one example of how you can use this low camera angle to show your character in a scene. As I told you at the start, this camera angle can give a feeling of a character who is strong and dominating. Whether it's a villain, protagonist, or any other side character. This can be incorporated into a particular scene to create tension, or it can describe the personality of your character in general. The possibilities are endless, depending on how creatively you use it. About the jawline. I told you guys that when you're looking at a head from low angle, you might be able to see below the jawline. But a lot of times, the artists draw the jaw as it normally appears, avoiding getting into too much realism. The below part of the jaw is only reserved for extremely low angles. In my experience, this is done to keep the things less complicated and less time consuming, especially in animation. The point here is that it's all up to you, how much realism you wanna go for in your drawing. There's no right or wrong, you can do whatever appeals to you. The ears will again appear a little lower than the normal. Now, we can focus on putting the facial features, starting with the eyes. Here, I'm drawing my character looking towards us, or you can say into the camera. The nose, the eyebrows. Let's make this character like those egotistic and arrogant characters, bossing other people around him. I'm using these wrinkles between his eyebrows, indicating his anger. Let's show some teeth to show his frustration. This will probably scare the one confronting him. Now I'll move to the hair. I looked at some references and got an idea about how I want the hair to look. I'm thinking a little Dragon Ball-esque. At this angle, the hair won't look as tall as they appear at the normal level. So pay attention to that. I'm also adding a collar to his shirt. Let's say he's on the school soccer team and quite popular too. I know this sounds a bit cliche, but this is what I can think of right now. I believe he'll make an interesting anti-hero. You can suggest me some names for him in the comments. I think this looks good. I'll do the cleanup behind the scenes and then show you the final drawing. And here it is. The clean line art with a few corrections here and there. You might notice that I've changed the jaw to the normal. This just felt more pleasing, so I went with it. Now that you have seen how I approach this stuff in my drawing process, you can try out this yourself in your drawings and create some interesting pieces of your own. Of course, study a lot of references, both photographs and artworks, and practice them in your drawing. So guys, this is it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video and got something new to learn. If you want to show some love, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in learning how to draw here, check out this video. See you later.